Hey there, Crate Junkies. Today I want to do a quick little video about why I started buying vinyl for the sake that it's vinyl. When I shifted from this records as being purely nostalgia to really understanding how good of quality music recorded on vinyl is. And I got 2 albums. But before I get there, I'm going to do a really quick little backstory. Probably like a lot of other people grew up having records in the house and dad playing records and whatnot like that. And I always enjoyed that. I always wanted a record player of my own. But it just sort of never worked out. No, didn't have a component style stereo for a long time. Then I didn't have room for one. And I recently moved to come to school, and basically a free stereo fell in my lap that needed some maintenance. So I fixed it up. When they had moved the stereo in to the house I had been in before, it had jumped the belt. I put the belt on there, put a new needle on it, and then repaired the RCA. So the lady didn't care, like, the stereo's too big, get it out. So finally got a record player, absolutely excited. Had a few, maybe 15 records, brought those down and enjoyed them, and thought, well, now that I've got a record player, it would be cool to have records kind of, like Dad, or, buy music that I wanted. Well, the first weekend I had it, I went out and did some digging in unusual places, like we all do. I bought 2 records, and those 2 records really changed the way that how I viewed vinyl recording, from just being nostalgia and hey, it's neat, to holy business, there's something here. And the first album is The Greatest Hits of the Band, and the second is The Instrumental Hits of Buck Owens. Now they might seem like 2 completely unrelated albums, even though they were both put out on Capitol. I don't know if that has anything to do with it or not. But after listening to the band on MP3 format, or in my car, or on CD, or on a computer, I thought I knew what they were all about. And then I listened to The Weight on vinyl through multi-channel speakers, and it absolutely floored me how good the drums were, and hearing things I'd never heard before. Same thing with the Buck Owens record, how clean it was, how good it sounded, even at a low volume. There was no compression, and those are the 2 records that really propelled me into this awful habit we call vinyl collecting. Although I don't really call my collection a collection as much as I call it my library. It's my vinyl library. And I use that designator because if the record is in good shape and it plays, then I don't feel I need to update. If the jacket's a little beat up, part of me is like, oh, it'd be cool if. But what I really cared about is listening to the quality of the recording, hearing it like it's supposed to be heard. And these 2 albums, the best of the band, and I really actually want to get all of their individual albums, because that's how good. I've always been a fan of the band, but never heard them as they're supposed to be heard, either live or on record, and it just absolutely blew me away. And then listening to this album, where everything is separate but together, and I think most people within the community understand that. And these 2 records, if you don't have them, I'm not going to tell you to go buy them, but they're worth at least finding maybe somebody that has a copy and bribing them with coffee or maybe a 6-pack of beer, however you do it, to go listen to them. And I have, on my journey of now really appreciating how good vinyl is, because when a lot of times people used to say, I'd buy it because it sounds better. I thought they were, kind of full of it, and they were just trying to be quirky or different. You know, and then my eyes opened and I heard it for the first time myself, and I was just absolutely astounded. And that's why I buy, vinyl now, and especially with so many new releases coming with a digital download, or things like the Roxio system, the where you can digitize your media and have it in the car. That was one of the other reasons I never. It's like, well, I don't have a record player. Why would I buy a record I can't even listen to? But with the amazing age that we live in, we can take our records with us. They're not going to be at the same quality of playing them on even what I have, which is a cheap old Sherwood stereo. You know, they're not going to match that quality, let alone the many of the systems that I have seen within the community. And I've really enjoyed buying vinyl, and I'm going to continue to buy vinyl. It's no longer nostalgia. I fully understand now how good it really is. And I think that pretty much sums up this video. You guys have a good day. Happy digging.